And done! The last part was saved properly, so it's time to move on to the second part of this double program. Now, you may have a pretty good idea of why I'm doing a double program to begin with, because I know many of you are probably thinking, well, aren't you forgetting something important about the marathon? Well, that's because I haven't forgotten that I'm doing a double program, because I've been bugging you with it for the better part of the last 4 years, so I think it's time to pay my respects. So, 4 years ago, first Final Fantasy Marathon, I was really looking forward to seeing some Final Fantasy VI. Unfortunately, that did not happen because, well, I needed sleep while the game was on, so unfortunately I missed it. And I was pretty angry with the way things happened, although, well, I can't be angry at anyone but my own lack of endurance when it comes to not needing sleep. But, yeah, I really wanted to see Final Fantasy VI this time around. And fortunately, it was scheduled at 5 p.m. on Thursday, so, well, there wasn't much of a problem with that. So I managed to catch the run in its entirety, and I can tell you right now, I have no regrets whatsoever. If I die on Monday morning in a car crash while going to work, I can die a happy man. And it seems like I'm almost done with Route 4, so I'm going to be heading towards the desert resort, which is entirely optional this time around. It's just there because it was in the first game, I guess. But nonetheless, I'm not complaining. It's going to be a pretty good source of experience. So, about that Final Fantasy VI run, it was done by Sencha, who holds the world record for the game, just under 5 hours in real time, though the run at the marathon was a 100% run, which means all characters and all espers collected, which means that the only thing of note that was not done was the Magic Master at the top of the Cultist's Tower. Unfortunately, between all the donation incentives and the fact that she lost to Kefka a couple times, which really sucked. You could just see how hard this whole thing was. It seemed more luck-based than anything. But then again, you try taking on Kefka with a team as horrifically under-leveled as she had during her run. And, well, if you think you can do better, raise your hand. I'm just gonna call you a liar. So, yeah, overall, I'm really glad that I got to see this run. In fact, if I saw the one in 2009 and missed this one, I'd probably feel a little robbed right now. No offense to Cross Warrior, who did the run in 2009 or anything, but it's just, well, you can see where I'm going with that. That run was just a treat for the eyes. And, yeah, we're fighting a nurse here. There was a doctor at the exact same location in the first game. They switched it up for a nurse. No idea why, but whatever. As long as I don't have to backtrack all the way over to Castelia or Nimbasa for free healing, I'm not complaining. But, yeah, one thing that I found out, thanks to this run, is that, and you're not going to believe this, or maybe you will, after all, this is the game that if you break it hard enough, you can enter a lesbian relationship with your own mother to create yourself. Yes, by the way, you can actually do that if you do the right things. But the thing is that, you know the auction house in Jador, where you have to buy Golem and Zona Seeker, and it's such a tedious process because, well, the odds of getting the espers are just so low, and instead all you get is a gorgeous pair of angel wings. Look at me, I'm an auctioneer who doesn't know what stuff is worth. I mean, sure, you can equip that on a relic slot and lose your relic slot just to give you float, which you could also do for 17 MP, but look at these gorgeous angel wings! Aren't they absolutely gorgeous? Sorry, I just got carried away for a second. It's just, I hate this auction house! I simply have no other words for that than, the worst thing is, last time I played that game, I got really lucky. I only needed 3 attempts combined to get both espers, but normally it takes a lot longer than that, and all you have to do is scroll through text and let other people win items that either you can win but they're completely worthless, or you can't win anyway because there's always going to be an asshat who's going to bid 500,000 gil, and even if you have 500,000 gil, you can't even get an opportunity to bid it because you're not supposed to get the item to begin with. But seriously, I hate this auction house. But believe it or not, the most ridiculous thing has been discovered in relation to that auction house. As I understand it, the next item that is going to be up for bid at the auction house is related to the direction at which an NPC right outside the auction house walks when you leave the auction house. And I just have one question. How do people figure stuff like that out? And it's actually fairly interesting in terms of speedrunning for 100% speedruns, because it allows you to get Golem and Zona Seeker a heck of a lot easier, as we saw during the marathon. And I even managed to find the spreadsheet that was used, and that is used by speedrunners to do 100% runs and get Golem and Zona Seeker. So you'd think, wow, I found the spreadsheet. And by the way, I'm just going to come back to this later because this is the entrance to the Relic Castle. There are a few different things about it in this game compared to the first. First, as you noticed, the Zenmo Darmanitans that were near the entrance are no longer there. And also, inside the Relic Castle, well, most of it has been filled with sand now, so you can only access the topmost floors from the Desert Resort and the area where Volcarona is from the Relic Passage. Of course, I'm talking about the area you can only access from Driftvale, since we didn't see anything resembling a Volcarona when we first went there. But yeah, back to this spreadsheet thing. I did find the spreadsheet to make the process of getting Golem and Zona Seeker a lot faster. Unfortunately, after much testing on my end, it only works in the World of Ruin on the SNES version. It doesn't work in the World of Balance, and it does not work at all in the Game Boy Advance version, even in the World of Ruin, which is weird, considering how much stuff remained absolutely identical between both versions. For example, the airship glitch, which is something else that I'm having a heck of a lot of trouble imagining someone figuring it out, because it's just so incredibly convoluted. And it's basically the same thing here. I want to know what the thought process was for the person who found out that you could tie the items that are being sold at the auction house with the movement patterns of an NPC. No wonder this took almost 2 decades to find out. Well, I wouldn't have been surprised at all if it never was figured out, but it was, so 2 decades seems oddly appropriate in a way. So yeah, if you were looking for a way to easily acquire Golem and Zona Seeker in the World of Balance on the SNES version, or in either world in the Game Boy Advance version, well, you're out of luck, because the spreadsheet only works in the World of Ruin on the SNES version, which I guess is better than nothing. And this guy here gave me a FunFest mission, which, don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I'm going to cover them a bit later once I'm done visiting Nimbasa and the surrounding areas. Trust me, I have a reason to do that. It will all become clear when I show you that. But as I was about to say, maybe someone will do the same exercise for the World of Balance and the Game Boy Advance version, so that we can put this matter to rest once and for all. But I don't think counting on it is a good idea, considering that the SNES World of Ruin is really the only permutation that speedrunners really care about. And though I guess I shouldn't give up hope entirely, because the aforementioned airship glitch is just about as anti-speedrun as you can get, and yet someone figured it out in 2005, I think. The fun part about that, though, is that the person who discovered the airship glitch in 2005, they just discovered the glitch itself. No curiosity at all as to what you could potentially do with it. It took until last year for someone to go and experiment with the glitch and see all the kinds of crazy stuff that you can do with that, including, as I said before, entering a lesbian relationship with your own mother to create yourself. And the person who did all these experiments, she did it for the lulz. So maybe, I don't know, maybe someone will figure it out for the World of Balance and the Game Boy Advance version for the lulz as well. But I don't know. I'm not having any expectations whatsoever, because I don't want them to be crushed. But it's still funny just knowing that you can tie, you know, the movement patterns of an NPC to the items sold at the auction house. It still blows my mind. Even over a week after first hearing about it, it's like, how do people figure that stuff out? And I know I'm going in circles right now, so I guess I should just stop for my own sake. But you gotta understand, I am absolutely baffled at the thought process that goes into finding some of the more under-the-hood stuff. So yeah, I guess I should end this rant right now. And so if there are any high moments of the marathon that you want to see, I'm going to post a link in the movie description to the highlights section of TSG's Twitch channel. As of this video being made, the first 6 pages are highlights from the marathon, though I guess if you're watching this from further in the future, like later this year, next year, the year after that, whatever, well, it goes without saying that you'll have to look a little bit harder, because, well, these highlights are going to slide further and further down as more highlights are posted, more marathons are made. So yeah, I'm just gonna do that. So if you want to see anything outside of what I've already linked in the last video, well, I'm just going to give you a chance to see all the highlights, the green screen stuff, the fan fictions, people getting shocked, more fan fictions, more green screen. It's pretty much all going to be there. Karamic is doing a super job at highlighting everything that is being asked of him to highlight. Major shout out to Karamic. Thanks for a job well done. And since this video is almost over, no matter what, I'm just going to end it on one thought. There have been many people over the course of the marathon who dropped by thinking that it was really something close to what Speed Demos Archives would do, and I just want to reestablish the fact that it really is not. It's more relaxed, it's more for the lulz than for, you know, actual speedruns, because I think I can count the amount of actual legitimate speedruns that, over the course of TSG's history, on one hand, and over half of them were from this one marathon. So, that is going to be all for me for today. Next time, we're going to keep exploring this desert. Will it ever end?